And now, in studio, coming straight out of the beautiful village of Del Mar to deliver the timely truths on the real estate market. He's a CEO and broker, a seasoned trainer, and an award-winning expert. He's Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Show.
Welcome back. This is Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show. We are blessed today to have Hershel Strother II from Mark Schwartz Realty joining us again. Hello, Hershel.
How are you? Good evening.
Good evening. And Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group, our mortgage guy.
Good evening.
And today we have Jill Severance from First California Escrow joining us, talking about some of the differences between escrow and title, loyalty agreements, and the things that we can do that differentiate herself from other escrow companies. Welcome.
Hi there.
How you doing? So, Hirsch, we had a great week this week. I know you were in Little Italy showing property today, or actually yesterday.
Yes. Picked up a parking ticket, but more importantly, helped out my clients showing a few properties on, 1501?
India Street.
Yes,
it's actually Village Walk. So you never know what's happening. Hershel's out there meeting a client of ours who was about 20 minutes late that day. And a gal walks up thinking that he's the doorman or something, starts talking to him about real estate. The next thing I know, he's showing property the next day. So turned out she was in La Jolla, right?
Yeah, she's in La Jolla. Her and her family, they run Tijan, a fragrance store right on Hershel Street. So go down, say hello to Bobby.
Stop name dropping. Anyway, okay, yeah, Bobby.
Bobby will hook you up.
Okay. That's great. Hey, I just want to remind you that this is Mark Schwartz, and it's the Mark Schwartz Radio Show. You could reach me at 858-414-4602. Visit my website, Mark, M-A-R-K, the number 4, HOMES.com. You can search property. You can check out the radio show and all the things that we got going on, and then download my app off of the App Store. It's markforhomes.com. Joe, what do we got for rates and terms and things that are going on this week?
Oh, the rates are pretty solid, still in the threes, mid threes, depending on what type of loan term you're going for, and high twos, low threes for a 15-year, and mid threes for a 30.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Straight conventional.
Amazing that rates continue to stay so low, and I think prices had jumped up like sales another 18% last month.
Yes.
It's just ridiculous right now. Still, the government is basically begging you to buy homes at this point. They're giving money away for free. They're giving you that financial freedom of getting that tax credit, the write-off every year of your monthly interest deduction, and then absolutely building equity at the same time. So, Joe, where can they find you if they need to get pre-approved for a mortgage?
You can call me at 646-245-7856, or you can email me at joeparkplacefg, that's frankgeorge.com.
Excellent. Hey, Paulie, what's happening with hockey this week?
That's my question. Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers are up 3-1 on the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is no small feat with Penguins with Crosby, Malkin, Marc-Andre Fleury between the pipes. It's a good hockey team that the Rangers are just pretty much dominating, and they're making a strong push to get back to their second straight and Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, we LA fans are obviously, just waiting for the Kings to get back up in there, and I think Kobe's working hard on. Didn't Kobe just put his house on the market? If any of you guys are looking for an $8.6 million home in Orange County, please give me a call. 858-414-4602. Mark Paulie down for 2. Hirsch, wasn't that?
Yes, he did. Just put it on the market. A nice Mediterranean, 8,000 plus square feet. Beautiful home. Definitely, if you definitely want to see this stunning masterpiece.
Well, for the price of that ring that he bought his wife years ago, wasn't it? Which was more expensive? I thought it was $4 million on that one.
You know what? It was $4 million.
That was a real special ring.
Yes.
Extra special.
So we're happy to have Jill here with us today, and so I want to take some time to just go over the escrow company process and what's happening. And I think that one thing that First California Escrow does is they exceed in customer service and all the things that we need to have, to support us as real estate agents and buyers and sellers that are out there. So we want to thank you for that, Jill.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate that. So I was just wondering, I have clients that are calling me up all the time. They're like, yeah, we're going to call the title company and get this done. I said, well, no, that's escrow. And they're like, well, we got to call the escrow company and get that done. I said, well, that's title.
Well,
so what's the difference between the two companies?
Well, the title company is the company that provides title insurance. And title insurance is the one that sellers have to do that ensures the property that is free and clear of any and all liens and judgments on the property.
Isn't that where, like, I think at the close of escrow, the seller provides a title report, and then
the lender also requires an insurance that their property is in first lien position. So that's what the title company does. We as escrow, we are the neutral third party that provides a place for the title company, the lender, the buyer, the seller, and the real estate agents to come to. And I act as that neutral third party that binds them all together and provides documentation and provides a service.
So as a neutral party, are you like advising people on what to do?
I do not provide any
no advice whatsoever.
I am that neutral third party. They come to me, and sometimes I have to listen to sob stories.
I can only imagine.
Both sides of each buyer and seller all the time.
Right.
And I just have to listen to them, unfortunately, and refer them back to their agent to come up with
as a neutral party, you get the sob story, and everybody bitching and complaining about their agent, and then you have to say, "I totally get it. I'm with you. It happens all the time. No problem. Just breathe, and we'll get through this together." Is that right?
Exactly. Unfortunately, I probably could be.
You got to be a psychologist. In this
absolutely,
game.
A psychologist.
You got to be a psychology major as a realtor as well, because you got people coming in lying to you, telling you all kinds of stories, and they got their own emotions that are involved in every transaction. You never know where they're coming from, and you got to be there for them.
Absolutely, because it's their biggest purchase in their life.
Absolutely, it's a stressful situation.
It's stressful.
As we know.
A lot of times, we deal with short sales where they're losing their homes, and you got your first-time home buyer where they're buying their first home, and it's an exciting experience for them. And that's one thing I love about my job is because you get that great feeling that they're buying their first home. Some people that are selling their first home for the first time is just awesome because they get excited because you're giving them that big, huge check and they're off to the bank. And
it's funny because that house that we sold over in Del Mar, and along those lines, the seller of that house, when I told him or had requested that we use this escrow company, First California Escrow, our escrow company, by the way, Jill can be reached at 858-793-0502. Well, it looked like you did the escrow on his purchase years back as well. What a coincidence. And
wow.
Yeah.
Only figuring you guys are in Del Mar. It's a Del Mar house. You're working with agents that are in that area.
We do all counties. I've done all the way up through the coast, all the way up Northern California. We're local to San Diego, but we do all of California, and we're completely digitalized now. We offer DocuSign, so
meaning that before, I know we had a stack of paperwork that we had to sit down with our client all the time and go over. It was ridiculous, disclosures, etc.
Exactly, we've kind of gotten away from that, where everything can be done, just with your computer. So you just have to print out a couple documents, sign them, get them back to us.
Makes it easy. You can do it on your phone if you're in a pinch. I know now that we use DocuSign all the time regarding contracts, purchase contracts, listings. It's just like, hey, let's get over it. We could talk about it on the phone. We could do a conference call. Everything's about saving time and money. And in fact, if I could take 15 minutes and tell you how I'd save you some time and money, is it worth your 15 minutes? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I just had a guy sign his escrow instructions. He was in an airport in Florida.
Great.
Wonderful.
Hey, Joe, how does that work with you? Just to get off on a tangent, this electronic signature has really made things very easy. I know my insurance guy, Nick, did forward my information to me via electronic signature. I was able to go over and click, and get it done. That's Nick Cazzaroni, 858-245-1149 for all your insurance needs. The guy's great. He's our insurance guy, life insurance, home insurance, difficult situations on fire zones, etc. Definitely a specialist. Call our guy, Nick Cazzaroni, 858-245-1149. Joe, I'm sorry. Do you utilize DocuSign in your...
It's a great question.
Situation?
Certain lenders have adapted to utilizing DocuSign and certain haven't. So it's been a little frustrating because once you start to use it, you see the ease of it. It's actually very efficient. It saves a lot of time. But there are plenty of lenders out there that still do not accept digital signatures. It's just how it is right now. Until they implement those systems, you have to utilize the old school of signing documents. You can email and print, but they don't accept DocuSign. So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing going on right now.
Well, not to date myself, but I remember when fax machines were introduced, and it's the same thing. Nobody knew who was on the other end of the fax machine, so like lenders and escrow and title, they wouldn't accept it because who knew who was signing and sending? It seems like now it's all tied into your email address, but now you have that thing, that consent that you need to click. If you click that and you're not that individual, some kind of law's broken, I guess. At that point,
you would think
trouble
everyone
fine.
would have adapted at this point, but it's been slow to the take on the lender side.
Excellent. So just getting back, Jill, then, and in the second segment, we'll talk a little bit further about it. But with your 25 years in experience, you must have seen it all out there.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. We're in a market right now where inventory is low and people are desperate for situations. You get these escrow companies that are small companies or don't have any backing. They're out throwing things around. We'll do this for you. We'll do that for you. I mean, they're bending the rules. They're breaking the rules. All kinds of things that we, as agents, need to look out for. Violations of RESPA. I always have an escrow company say, "Oh yeah, what are you paying? Oh, we could do it for X," or who's paying for your printing? We can take care of that. I want to get my deals closed. I want to be with a professional who educates themselves and stays on top of all the legalities of the deal, all the changing laws and regulations that are involved. And that's why I use Jill at First California Escrow and have for over 12 years, 858-793-0502. When we come back in the second segment, we're going to talk to Joe Costa, our mortgage guy from Park Place Financial Group, about the philosophy of selecting a mortgage officer, a loan officer, to take advantage of your loan program. We're talking about, is he a transaction or is he a relationship mortgage broker?
Intelligent, conservative, AM 1170, The Answer.
Hey, Craig Sewing here, going to bat for you every single day as your consumer advocate here on KCBQ. I give a lot of advice on your finances, your real estate, your mortgage, your tax plan, estate plan, even things like debt and credit. Look, as your consumer advocate, I'm not licensed to do anything for you, but I will bring you great information, great experts on the show, and most importantly, if you ever need an introduction for anything on your financial decisions or real estate or anything else on that financial wheel, make sure you visit me online, craigsewing.com. That's Craig with a C, sewing like a sewing machine, craigsewing.com. I am happy to introduce you to my partners who help me with the show and can help you win in any marketplace.
Over the course of over 20 years in practice, Mr. Garrison has tried more than 45 cases, winning many multi-million-dollar jury verdicts and settlements. Mr. Garrison and his team do not shy away from hard work, hard cases, or earning results. Their reputation for being aggressive, experienced trial lawyers has produced excellent results for their clients, both in and out of the courtroom. Trial lawyers will give you practical advice based on real-world experience. There's only one way to acquire this kind of experience. Earn it under pressure in court. Greg Garrison's trial experience allows his team to counsel you in practical ways. It is their goal to avoid litigation if possible. However, if your case must be tried, they know how to win. Call Greg Garrison. Consultations are free. Choosing the wrong lawyer is not. Greg Garrison is the exclusive criminal defense attorney for The Craig Sewing Show, The American Dream, and their entire team.
Craig Sewing here, host of The Craig Sewing Show. I want you to think in your head for a minute. How much money did you make last year? Here's a better question. How much money did you keep? In other words, how much of your hard-earned money was for you rather than giving it away to this inefficient government of ours? If you think the government's inefficient, I got a challenge for you. I'm going to challenge your efficiency with your tax plan. My good friend Doug Jennings, who you hear on KCBQ all the time, is a savant when it comes to tax planning. As Doug puts it, Craig, I've never even seen a tax return I can't improve. Doug can help you keep more of your money, help you improve your structure for your taxes, your business, your real estate, even your marriage. Why wouldn't you take a moment to get a free consultation? It can save you thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. He's not really a friend of the IRS, but I'm a consumer advocate. I want him helping you. This is something you got to do. Visit JenningsTaxLaw.com for a free consultation on your tax plan. That's JenningsTaxLaw.com. You can thank me later. Doug is a great person, a great professional. He and his wife Peggy are friends of mine. I give him my highest recommendation, JenningsTaxLaw.com. Visit him today.
Welcome back. It's Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show. We're here, as always, with Hershel Strother II, Joe Costa, our guy from Park Place Financial Group. And I don't know, Jill just skipped out of here. I guess there was like an immediate funding that needed to take place today, and it's the weekend, and she had to get it done by Friday. That's why we love her. Again, Jill Severance at First California Escrow, always on the money.
She's
858,
awesome.
my God, 793-0502. So, Ashley, we wanted to just finish up here on the escrow segment and ask you, and I know you're relatively new to First Cal. Oh, actually, you are a rep now, but you've been working with the company for years.
Correct. I've been an escrow officer previously for 10 years, and then I came over to the sales side.
That's what we love also. Like an educated rep, not just a rep that's out there trying to solicit business, throwing pens down. Here's someone that knows the business, has been in the trenches, and can help you out when you need to. They're available 7/24. This is Ashley. Really, what is it that makes the difference?
Well, you nailed it right there. Having someone that's going to be at your disposal. So I like to call myself a real estate concierge. So I am available 24/7 to the clients, weekends, weeknights, whenever you guys need something, I'm there for you.
And we're going to be all over it. So the concierge service at First California Escrow, we love it. Thank you very much. Joe, I want to get back to what you were talking about. And this ties into everything that we're discussing. We have our top 10, 12 people that we work with, our network of great superstars. And First California Escrow is one. We're very loyal, and they are absolutely on it for loyal clients. What is it that you were talking about on this whole relationship-based lending as opposed to transaction lending? I got confused. What was that earlier?
Okay, so my whole point of bringing up this topic is most buyers, when they approach going for a loan, they just seek the best rate, right? It's all about the best rate. They may shop with 2 or 3 or 5 different loan companies, and the first question out of their mouth is, "Hey, what's your rate?" And really, that's doing themselves a disservice. They have to look at this type of transaction as almost an interview process, right? For instance, if you were about to invest your money with a money manager, you would probably interview that money manager. Same as the case in this situation. This is a big transaction, money's involved. Why are you just going to base it solely on an interest rate? And the reason that's important to know, because one might be saying, of course, it's all about the rate. It's not, because that particular lender that might be quoting a lower rate, let's say, than myself, they may not have the experience on a purchase. Right? The purchase transaction is very, very complicated. There's lots of moving parts, and that particular loan officer, his business might be more refinance. So you're going to trust that individual?
That's a huge point. And so what you're saying is online, using a refinance type mortgage broker when you're doing a purchase is a disservice to yourself because the system is different. There are other challenges that come into place. And you know, it's interesting. When you're looking for a mortgage loan, it's not like shopping for a car. I mean, this is a 30-year commitment. This is hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're paying interest on monthly. This is for growth, tax advantage, to create wealth. It's important to know who you're dealing with. And that's why we use Joe Costa at Park Place Financial Group. By the way, Joe, how can they get a hold of you?
646-245-7856. You can call me or text me. My email is joe@parkplacefg.com. That's frankgary.com.
So, Joe, I know that we've talked about how you have clients for years that continuously come back to you to refinance, to do purchases, to have family members utilize you. I think that's what we love about you. It's your passion for, trying to create the best program for that individual specifically. Is that right?
Right, and that's the point I was trying to make. Why a borrower would do themselves a disservice if they're solely basing it on rate is this. When you approach a loan officer, let's say someone calls me, and they are asking about a rate, and they tell me, hey, the gentleman up the block is an eighth cheaper, I immediately like to explain the value that I offer. My business is 75-80% purchase, 25-30%, depending on the month, refinance, which is a big difference from a broker or a lender that does the opposite, right? More refinances than purchase. Refinance is a much easier transaction. It's the loan officer directly with the borrower, right? There's no moving parts other than that. Purchase has lots of moving parts. So you need someone that's very, very experienced, and that is what the interview process comes into play. The value. What does that loan officer bring to the table?
That's great, Joe, and that's what we love. So email Joe at joe@parkplacefg.com and get yourself set up. Find out what the right program is for you. If you're looking to buy a home, is it a 30-year fix? Is it a 15-year fix? And that's a good point, too. With rates as low as they are and homes out there, great buying opportunities, why not start to create wealth for your family? If you have a newborn kid, buy a house. Use it as a rental. By the time that kid's 18 years old, do a 15-year fix. They'll own it free and clear. Even on a 30-year loan, they'll have a huge equity position. They got income flow. They can sell the house, go to college, start a business. I mean, imagine doing that for your kids now. So that's what I would encourage. So call me today, Mark Schwartz, 858-414-4602 to assist you in getting that process started. Joe?
I wanted to add something. That's a great point, Mark. As far as quoting rates, and the need to take it a step further, that comes into play. If someone in their 20s has different needs than someone in their 40s, 30s, for that matter as well. Someone with no kids has different needs than someone with kids. So this is the reason why you just don't want to base it solely on a rate. You want to speak to a professional, have them show their value, show what they're capable of putting together, and different options that ultimately might work better for you than just a straight 30-year. Or a 15-year basic quote.
It's a great point. Again, you guys are out looking for homes. You are looking to buy a house in San Diego. You're going to take the time to make sure that you've educated yourself on the market, that you know where homes are selling at, what the comparative homes are selling at, the market time, what you can do based on the condition of the home, etc. Why would you not do that while shopping for a long-term interest rate and develop a relationship with a mortgage broker, a financial guy that's going to go ahead and help you and your family throughout the years? I love it. And that's just a first segment, I think, of what our topic is on educating the borrower in the loan process, the philosophy that they need to take when approaching a mortgage. Is that right?
Yes, the interview process. They have to look at it as an interview process. Have that loan officer earn your business. Let them roll their sleeves up and show you their knowledge, not just a simple interest rate. That's very easy. Most loan officers can quote you rates within seconds. Show some value.
Do you have that same problem, Ashley? Like, do you get calls like, hey, what are your rates? What do you charge per deal? Do you have people shopping you, or do you find that the majority of your clients are long-term loyal clients that understand the process?
Sure, and I think Joe really touched on it. It's all about not just the service, but the experience. So at First California, it's really about how much time that we spend on education there. We're constantly going through new trainings to keep ourselves and our escrow officers up to date. As well as your clients, I must say, doing the lunch and learns and educating over new contracts and all the laws that have changed, so keeping us abreast of what's happening. Right.
We appreciate that.
Yes, thanks. We do offer a lot of lunch and learns. We'll come in and teach you basically the latest and greatest on what's going on, what's changing in the market, and our industry is always changing.
Excellent.
But yeah, we do get a lot of calls where people just want to ask us, well, what's your price? Most of this industry is governed on the Department of Insurance, and so the prices are kind of standard across the board. It's really what you're getting with the price.
It's amazing that the perception of ourselves as real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, escrow companies, business owners, somebody starts calling up and negotiating up front, they're immediately impacting their credibility, which it's damaging, unfortunately, as you get into the transaction and further into the process. You're going to always kind of feel like this guy is going to try and, get one on me, or he's only looking out for himself. He doesn't understand value. You got to be very careful doing that, too, because what you're going to do is you're going to jeopardize who you're working with. You got to be very careful. If you're going out there and trying to save a buck, it's going to cost you a lot of money in the long run. You need to watch out. If you're not educated or in this profession, or you're not a realtor doing this for your life or your living, then you got to hire a professional. Ashley's right. Experience counts. Someone who's been in the trenches, that has seen this occur in the past. Things come up daily. New things. There's always something in a transaction. I think, Joe, you'll attest to that, too, in the mortgage end. And with experience and being able to take the situation and work with it, massage it through, it's not like why we can't do it. It's how we can get it done.
Right. You're flipping the philosophy around to understand that it's not about that rate. Because in the end, you're never going to get the best rate. And the reason why I say that is, in one particular moment, that lender could have, 3 1/8. And then the next day, that's 3.5. And then another lender has a lower rate the next day or next hour. So if you're shopping exclusively for the best rate, you're just not going to get it. You're setting yourself up to fail.
Now, Joe, speaking of new things, we were talking earlier about the new loan program for condos. Can you tell us?
Oh, is that the 3% down program, right?
Yeah, they have a 3% down condo purchase program. There are some guidelines, so it's guideline sensitive. A certain income criteria that has to be met based on the area. You can't be above a certain threshold based on the median income for that specific area. But now it's a product that's available, which is exciting. So someone with 3% in a condo, all other things being equal, no litigation, with the HOA, they could be eligible for 97% financing for that purchase.
That's great. And are there any other programs out there that people might be interested in? Or?
Yeah, there's the 95 LTV program with no MI.
So LTV is basically loan to value. MI is mortgage insurance, and generally it's what, under 20% equity position. You're going to get a mortgage insurance.
Put 20% down. There's no mortgage insurance. Anything above that, you're going to be hit with some mortgage insurance, which is an extra payment added to your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, so on and so forth. So There's a product, 95 LTV, 95% loan to value, where you can get a product or a loan without any MI. It's actually lender paid MI, so they build it into the rate. So the rate's a little bit higher, but your monthly payment doesn't include it. So it actually offsets. It doesn't offset, It's not as much as if you had that extra payment. It's cheaper.
That's right. So I'm Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Radio Show. I want to just remind you that Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group is available via phone or email. Joe at parkplacefg.com. Give him a call. And for a free appraisal today, text me at 858-414-4602 now. It's a savings of up to $500. Text me now and I will hook you up. We'll get that done on a refinance or a purchase. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the new loan programs available for short sale and foreclosure people in the past.
AM 1170, theanswer.com. Hear us anywhere in San Diego and the world. AM 1170, The Answer.
Hey San Diego, Craig Sewing here. Look, one of the things that nobody likes to hear is that they got bugs in their home. Almost all California homes have some sort of bug or termite problem. It's not a cool thing to have bugs running around your house, so I'm going to help you get rid of them. I want you to connect with Lloyd's Pest Control. These are our good friends of the Craig Sewing Show. They can help you. They've been in business putting bugs out of business since 1931. They'll do a free inspection for you. If you want to get your biggest investment checked out, make sure there's not bugs or termites, go to LloydPest.com. That's LloydPest.com and get a free inspection of your real estate today. Hey, your host Craig Sewing here. I got some great advice for you here today. Please tune in. Listen, everyone has a credit score. I am a believer that every one of those credit scores has inaccuracies that affect it within that credit report. It's pretty much a proven fact. Now, the question is, what do you do about your credit? The bureaus don't make money off of giving you an accurate credit score. They could care less. They make money by selling your information to the big banks, the mortgage companies, insurance, realtors. I can help you stop that. We can help you get a free credit report that doesn't ding your credit. We can help you opt out of having your information sold. All those letters you're getting in the mail, email offers, it's because they're selling your information to anyone who will buy it. You got to stop it. It puts you at risk at identity theft. Here's what you can get today. A free credit package from Aran Sinai. Aran is the best in the business. He's going to teach you how to get that free credit report, how to opt out, and if you need any credit advice, he'll chat with you for free as well. His number, 866-CREDIT-PRO. 866-CREDIT-PRO. Give Aran a call, 866-CREDIT-PRO, or if you like, visit me online. Tell me about your story, craigsewing.com. Call Aran, 866-CREDIT-PRO, or visit craigsewing.com. Hey, Craig Sewing here, host of the Craig Sewing Show. You know I'm every night at 6 p.m. on 1170 AM KCBQ, going to bat for our audience. What you might not know is we can actually be a resource for you as well. I'm right here in San Diego, acting as your consumer advocate. We have a text line. If you ever have a question or concern, or maybe you want an introduction to whoever I consider to be an elite in the finance or real estate space, all you have to do is text my direct line. That number, 619-846-9333. That's right, just send me a text message. message, and I will give you direct advice, no strings attached. 619-846-9333. You can also visit us online. Hit our contact form at craigsewing.com. That's 619-846-9333, or visit me online, craigsewing.com. Craig Sewing here, host of The Craig Sewing Show. I want you to think in your head for a minute. How much money did you make last year? Here's a better question. How much money did you keep? In other words, how much of your hard-earned money was for you rather than giving it away to this inefficient government of ours? If you think the government's inefficient, I got a challenge for you. I'm going to challenge your efficiency with your tax plan. My good friend Doug Jennings, who you hear on KCBQ all the time, is a savant when it comes to tax planning. As Doug puts it, Craig, I've never even seen a tax return I can't improve. Doug can help you keep more of your money, help you improve your structure for your taxes, your business, your real estate, even your marriage. Why wouldn't you take a moment to get a free consultation? It can save you thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. He's not really a friend of the IRS, but I'm a consumer advocate. I want him helping you. This is something you got to do. Visit JenningsTaxLaw.com for a free consultation on your tax plan. That's JenningsTaxLaw.com. You can thank me later. Doug is a great person, a great professional. He and his wife Peggy are friends of mine. I give him my highest recommendation. JenningsTaxLaw.com. Visit him today.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for listening. This is Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show. We're back with Hershel, Joe, and Ashley from First California Escrow. Thank you for joining us, Ashley.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing. We're learning all about her. She was what we thought was a rep. She's got 10 years experience as an escrow officer under her belt. She's out there working hard for you, and that's what we love about our 10 to 12 top exclusive network people that we're working with. So feel free to give me a call. Mark Schwartz, 858-414-4602. Check my website, Mark, M-A-R-K, the number 4, Homes.com, or download my app, Mark4Homes.com. So we're back here, and I think I wanted to get into a couple of questions that we had this week. Hershel, you had an email come in, or two, with a couple of questions from, I think they were both buyers.
Yeah, so Jerry from UTC wants to know, since prices are obviously rising, Mark, what's the best strategy to get a great deal in this marketplace right now?
Yeah, it's an amazing question. And, you know, I'll always answer it that the time to buy is now. If you're looking around and you're skeptical based on prices escalating, in the UTC area, there's a couple of hundred condos that are on the market. You can go through and have a little bit more of a selection on it, but I would jump right in right now before interest rates rise. I think, Joe, you'll agree with me that right now they are lower than ever. If you're not buying right now, I don't know what you're waiting for. So if you're trying to time the market, you're trying to time the highs and the lows, as Joe mentioned with the mortgage rates, it's just not going to happen. We're never going to get the high. We're never going to get the low. It's time to jump in the market. It's sliding quickly from a seller's market to a buyer's market in the $400,000 to $500,000 condo range. You can pick something up in the UTC area for between $300,000 and $350,000. The strategy would be to find out exactly what your needs are. What is the purpose of buying this condominium or home, and then locating and pulling the trigger now?
No, great answer. We have Adrian from Encinitas wants to know if you project rents to rise by this summer. I guess obviously, you know, the prices are rising all through Southern California, all through the state, to be honest with you. But
absolutely, things are starting to increase. And as property prices escalate, rents escalate to help compensate for that. But when you can buy a property, I think, at interest rates as low as possible, and you can get in there where your rent is going to be just as much as your mortgage payment, and or if your mortgage payment's a little bit more, you know you're going to end up netting less after your tax write-off at the end of the year.
Right.
And the time to buy is now. There's programs, I think you said, with 3% down on condos. There's 5% down with no mortgage insurance. Joe, is that right?
Yes, they are. These are great products that need to be utilized by people that have less down payment money.
Is there any first-time buyer programs? Like, we hear this first-time buyer. Is it like a category that people fit into where the financing is easier?
Yes, I mean there is a boatload of product for first-time home buyers. It's just something that has to be analyzed from an income perspective, where you fall in the rate chart. But yes, to answer your question, there is special programs set up for first-time home buyers.
Right. Ashley, when you had your 10 years experience, now that you're out in the field, you're dealing with agents and brokers trying to solicit and keep relationships alive, I understand. But when you were in the trenches, I mean, what are the differences between like a first-time buyer, a seasoned vet, an investor? Is anybody easier to deal with than others, or are we all the same?
That's a really good question. It really comes down to, what their needs are on how much hand-holding they need, and questions that they need to have answered. Obviously, first-time home buyers are going to have a lot more questions than someone that have been to the rodeo more than one time. And it really just depends on their needs as the client.
Right. So do you approach things? Do you know? And by the way, we threw Ashley into the mix here. Jill skated out because she had a fire she needed to go quench. That's what we love about these guys. Are on it all the time. In the break, Joe is on there working a deal right now, and then getting back in here instead of kicking back and trying to relax in between breaks. I mean, everybody's got it going on, which is great, and just another sign of the market, and that's what's happening. I mean, enthusiasm is really what sets you apart. I don't care if you're buying shoes. I don't care if you're buying a juicer or a car. If the guy's enthusiastic, if the gal's enthusiastic, loves what they do, it's going to make it a pleasant experience.
Living with passion, that's really what it's about. We all enjoy what we do. We're all specialists in what we do, and it shows with our clients.
Guaranteed.
That's the value I was talking about.
Passion counts, but strategy matters, and I think that's kind of where we went with Joe. And I want to get back to Joe right now. We had a situation where I was out knocking on doors. I came up with a home buyer that really wanted to get back in the market. It was unfortunate. They had a condominium that went into short sale about 2.25 years ago. I think they got back. It had talked to a mortgage broker that they were friends with. But Joe, we were talking about some of the things that you can do. I mean, you're not sunk. If you had a short sale over 2 years ago, you're not out of the work. You can get back in the market and start recreating that wealth that you had once. And you can get back in and start taking advantage of those tax deductions, the interest deductions, the low rates, and get back into building wealth for your family. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. The key is whenever you have a short sale, a bankruptcy, a BK as we refer to it, you need to reestablish your credit. So it's not just the time, which is your best friend somewhat. It's also reestablishing your credit. So that means perhaps taking up a credit card, not necessarily running up the balance, but just reestablishing, showing that there are other creditors out there that have believed in you. So this way, when you do apply and you get past that 24-month threshold, in some cases, you can show up with some credit, your profile has increased somewhat.
Great. And so, like I'm saying, if you think you're out of the market and you're not looking to buy, or maybe you're still a little gun shy based on what happened, if it's an isolated situation, right? If it was just the house that you had an issue with, the rate changed, you could no longer afford the home, but your credit still remained intact for the most part, then you're okay to buy now. There are programs available. It's worth talking to Joe Costa at Park Place Financial Group. What's your phone number?
646-245-7856.
Perfect. You can always email him to joe@parkplacefinancialgroup.com. Ashley, a quick question. We're talking about relationship-based lenders as opposed to transaction lenders. When you have a pro that comes in and you're working with a lender and you're facilitating paperwork back and forth, or you're working with somebody who maybe is only on a refinance and that's the majority of their business, or an online, .com, type of a lender that you don't have a face-to-face with. I mean, how are the issues? Do you see that when you're working with a relationship-based lender like we do? I know that the docs come in properly, the rates and the terms and conditions are all in the way they should be. But I've had experiences with lenders that I don't know, and I'm just wondering, like, how hectic does it get when paperwork doesn't match what the customer thought they were going to get?
Well, escrow and the lender works very closely together, and so it's always a pleasure to work with a lender that you have a good relationship with and that knows what they're doing, because a good lender can foresee what's going to happen, not just now, but next week and so on down the line in the transaction. So it really helps to make a smooth escrow when the lender knows what they're doing. And there is a big difference between a purchase and a refinance. And the lender's experience really helps to make a smooth transaction with their knowledge on the transaction.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, it's not my first rodeo.
Right.
Joe?
The value, that's the value aspect of what I was referring to earlier. So you have a loan officer that knows what they're doing. They know how to navigate through the purchase world. And to be quite honest, they're not going to always tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear, which is very, very important. And that's the truth, and it allows the transaction to go through as smoothly as possible. You're going to have bumps in the road, but the experience of a loan officer that truly has the value, that's looking at your business from a relationship standpoint, not just a number, not just a transaction, but a relationship. They're going to take the extra time because they want to have that relationship build other potential clients in the future.
Now, Joe, I had a quick question. I had a client give me a call. They had some challenging credit around the 500 mark. Are there any programs for people with challenged credit in that neighborhood, or is it pretty much nothing available?
Great question, and this is the type of question I'm very happy you asked, because that type of situation is where a loan officer, such as myself, it's been in the business since the early 90s, can actually show its value. People are so busy today, they come across a situation like that, they take a pass. They say, I can't get it done, and then that's it, because it's a transactional loan officer. Myself, I would look at the situation, and off the top of my head, based on what you're telling me, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to see the other criteria that they have, what their income is, how many years on the job, all that other stuff factored in. Then from there, if it's not obvious to me, I will still try to shop to get the answer one way or another, yes or no.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. So again, experience counts. In anything that you do, why would you not want to work with the best? Why would you not elect to work with somebody who is going to look out for your best interest, your needs, get specific with your situation, like Joe Costa? He's passionate and enthusiastic and knowledgeable about the business. He's a pro and he's a lifer, and that's what we love about him. Joe Costa at Park Place Financial Group. You can reach him via email at joe@parkplacefg.com. When we get back in the fourth segment, we're going to talk a little bit about insurance. Our insurance guy, Nick Cazzaroni, at 858-245-1149. Got some tough insurable property, and I'm curious about lender requirements.
AM 1170. The Answer.
Hey San Diego, Craig Sewing here. One of the things I know very well is real estate. Inman News nominated me for most influential in the space, and I launched a nationwide network built on the timely truths of our real estate market. Look, one of the many relationships you're going to encounter when buying a home or refinancing is who handles the money, also known as the escrow company. When it comes to hundreds of thousands of dollars, or maybe even millions of dollars in a real estate transaction, you can't just use anyone. I trust Oakwood Escrow. These guys and gals are the best in the business, offering trustworthy service. Whether you're a consumer or in the real estate business, nobody gets it done better than Oakwood Escrow. That's who I'd use, and you should too. Visit them at oakwoodescrow.com. That's oakwoodescrow.com.
Over the course of over 20 years in practice, Mr. Garrison has tried more than 45 cases, winning many multi-million-dollar jury verdicts and settlements. Mr. Garrison and his team do not shy away from hard work, hard cases, or earning results. Their reputation for being aggressive, experienced trial lawyers has produced excellent results for their clients, both in and out of the courtroom. Trial lawyers will give you practical advice based on real-world experience. There's only one way to acquire this kind of experience: earn it under pressure in court. Greg Garrison's trial experience allows his team to counsel you in practical ways. It is their goal to avoid litigation if possible. However, if your case must be tried, they know how to win. Call Greg Garrison. Consultations are free. Choosing the wrong lawyer is not. Greg Garrison is the exclusive criminal defense attorney for The Craig Sewing Show, The American Dream, and their entire team.
Following a three-day sell-off, U.S. Treasuries rallied on Thursday and yields moved lower in reaction to weakness in manufacturing in China and Germany, as well as retail sales in the U.K. In the U.S., new home sales fell by 11.4% in March. All this combined with a number of disappointing reports on job growth will make it less likely that the Fed will soon raise interest rates. Meanwhile, conforming no-point 30-year fixed mortgage rates still average 3 3/4 and 15-year rates closer to 3%. Now for something completely completely different. In 2008, Japanese lawmakers passed a law making it illegal to be overweight. Men and women aged 40 to 75 must maintain a waist size of 33.5 and 35.4 inches, respectively. Can you imagine that law here in the U.S.? For more information on home loans or real estate, visit our website at aramco.biz or call me at 800-600-7021. This is Meron Aram for The Craig Sewing Show.
Welcome back. It's Mark Schwartz, and this is the Mark Schwartz Real Estate Radio Show here with Hershel Strother II from Mark Schwartz Realty, Joe Costa from Park Place Financial Group, and Ashley Grant from First California Escrow. Welcome back. I want to take a minute here just to kind of talk about this whole Zillow thing. Hershel, I think you had been to or seen an interview with one of the execs that had stated something to the contrary?
Yes. Well, there was actually an executive that came into La Jolla area and was just talking with us about, because we have so many clients that are constantly saying, well, my home is valued at this. So I ask, well, how do you know that? Well, the Zestimate on Zillow says it's, 1.2 million. And this high-level executive basically said that Zillow's algorithms are incorrect. And there's more that goes into it on why it's inaccurate, but it was amazing to hear that and have that knowledge, because so many people out there are surfing the internet and they're going to Zillow. How much can I rent my home for? Great. The Zestimate gives me that range. Obviously that range is wide from high to low.
Guaranteed. And so what it does is it takes, as you know, the area that the home is, and it takes a 4-block radius. It doesn't take into account any of the upgrades, the condition, the lot size, the age, and it takes a wide variety of square footage and it narrows it down. And, my question is, Joe, on appraisal issues and properties selling based on Zillow estimates and Zestimates, which we all know, I will say that I did have it work in my favor. At one time, we had a house price aligned with the market, and the Zillow estimate came up far greater than the price, and that was helpful in selling the property. But generally, it seems like the Zillow estimate is high, and the seller wants to align themselves accordingly.
Yes, correct. It's actually a lot of tug-of-war stuff going on. So you have Zillow with their estimates. Then when you actually engage in a transaction, you have the insurance company that bases the insurable value on the actual dwelling, right? So you can't insure the land. Land can't burn from a technicality standpoint. It can, but in terms of insurability, they're talking about the dwelling itself. So a lot of situations come about when you talk about value, and certainly Zillow can work to your advantage when you live in the house and you check Zillow and you just want to see what your value is. You love Zillow. But when you're buying a house, you want Zillow to be less.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like Zillow and Trulia with the merge, and they're trying to corner the market and be this, like, I guess, the go-to home value estimate situation. They charge money to advertise for realtors. They try and corner ad calls and lead conversion, right, and really taking over. But they're missing the point. I mean, the point is trying to get really close to an assessment of the value of the home. If they really wanted to excel, be the top of their profession, the class, the leader of it, then they need to go ahead and fine-tune their search parameters. I'm quite sure that they can. There are ways of working out. There's all kinds of computer programs these days, and I think it would be helpful for everybody. Now, interestingly enough, San Diego as its own peninsula between Tijuana, Camp Pendleton, the ocean, and the mountain range still remains in demand. Prices are escalating. People are moving in. The jobless rate is down, yes, and prices are escalating. That's not the same across the country. There's all kinds of weather conditions that are going on. Unemployment's up. Prices have come down. Southern California remains to be strong. It's the best place to invest. I always say, if you're going for the gold, why not go where the gold is rushing? It's in San Diego. Call me, Mark Schwartz, 858-414-4602. Go to my website, search homes, investigate what's out there. You could evaluate the price of your home, MARK, the number 4 homes.com, markforhomes.com. Joe, I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the insurance thing that we were talking about. I had a house up in an area, there was a lot of forest and natural area behind it up on a hill, and we were having problems insuring that. What was a lender? How does a lender look at those types of properties?
Well, it depends on the track, which is a specific area. Certain areas have been deemed brush fire susceptible, and certain areas aren't, similar to how you are in a flood zone and you're not in a flood zone. So when it comes to certain areas within San Diego, Southern California, you have areas that are more susceptible. In those areas, you have to be careful because the insurance costs can either be higher than your other areas, underlying areas that don't have that restriction on it or quote-unquote title. And that could add to your monthly obligation because you might pay a significantly more premium dollar each month.
Absolutely. So Nick Cazzaroni, our insurance guy, he handles liability insurance, home insurance, life insurance, 858-245-1149. Give me a call. I will connect you with Nick. He'll give you a free evaluation of what's going on, what the insurability of your property is. Yes.
No, so I was waiting for you to finish. I was going to answer the second part of the question.
Go for it.
Yeah, so the second part to that question, so I'm not the insurance guy who's going to bring the Nick on here. Basically, what we come from the standpoint of if it's an insurance situation where it's in a brush fire zone, that coverage might be required to close on escrow. So it's kind of a case-by-case situation.
Absolutely. You know, it seems like with all the money being generated on this whole Pacquiao fight, there's got to be enough money there to feed the homeless in America, right? These hotel rooms are going for $1,200 a night at the MGM. I think tickets were going for $85,000 a piece.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is going on? What happened with the old, like, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, days? What's up with that, Paulie?
You know what? It's been so long since there's been a prime fight like this. You look back, probably the last time was Tyson Holyfield.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good point. Everything's UFC these days, it seems like, or mixed martial arts.
So this is the biggest fight in boxing in probably 15, 20 years.
There you go.
And these are the two best pound-for-pound fighters. It's not heavyweight, welterweight, light, middleweight, but these are the best fighters in the world right now, even with Mayweather at 37, 38 years old. I watched his last fight. He was absolutely outstanding. It's going to be a great fight. It's worth the hype. Not worth the money, though.
Absolutely. So I think they're deeming it that good versus evil. Pacquiao is like a really popular politician in his country. Philippines participates a lot.
Did you see the American that got kicked off a Philippines professional basketball team because he made fun of Manny Pacquiao?
Oh, there you go. Okay. And then
That's how popular that kid is.
Absolutely, man. If you just mention his name incorrectly, you're done. Banished from the country.
Well, how much are they even making, Paulie, on this fight right now?
I think Mayweather's making about $25 million.
Whoa.
Wow.
Win or lose, he makes like $25 million.
So only in America, go to jail, come out, make $25 million boxing.
Exactly.
Right, I love it. And it looked like the Padres were doing pretty well. I saw they were 10-5 a couple of days ago, 11-5.
Yeah, they ended up splitting a 4-game series in Colorado. Big 3-game series. They're tied for first place right now with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Love it. Los Angeles Dodgers.
They won 1 out of 3 games up in LA to start the season. Now it's turnabout's fair play. Dodgers are coming down here for 3 games, tied for first place. Big first series of the season for the Padres.
Can't wait. Joe, you're a Yankee fan. It looked like Rodriguez was doing pretty well, but maybe the only Yankee that's doing well. Is that right?
Actually, the Yankees have turned it around, and they're playing this weekend against the Mets. So it's a Subway Series, which is always exciting.
That's like the Freeway Series with the Angels and the Dodgers in LA. Right?
It's gained a lot of momentum.
And speaking of the Mets, where did they come from this year?
They're on fire.
Yeah, I mean it's only April, so I mean the Mets have the Mets have not had a lot to be excited about the last couple of years, but they've been a big surprise so far early in the season.
It goes back to the Lenny Dykstra, Wally Backman days.
Yeah, whatever happened to Bobby Valentine? Remember, didn't he show up with a mask on one day? They got kicked out of the game, and he came back with a mustache.
He actually went and managed in Japan. Went back to Japan and managed for a couple of years
successfully. I'm sure he was great.
Actually, he did. He won a championship.
Outstanding. So just a little bit catch up on sports. And then I think the latest on the stadium was that they had that Carson approval on the stadium for football and trying to see what was going on with the Chargers.
$1.7 billion for the city of Carson. That's what the city council approved.
Wow.
Now, keep this in mind. The city of Carson has a population of $91,000, which works out to about $18,000 per person if you go to pay for 1.7.
So if everybody's paying for it, you're at 91,000 people at $18,000 a head?
Yes, God help you if you have a family of 5.
I would take $10 a head.
Well, where are the Clippers at? I know the playoffs are going on, right?
Clippers, they
split them.
Yeah, they split with the Spurs, so they're going back to San Antonio. Game 3 tonight in San Antonio, tied 1-1. Clippers have looked really well. They've hung tight with the Spurs, but the Spurs look like they worked off some rust in Game 2. So
Spurs will always be there and always come back. There's no question about it.
It's going to be an interesting series.
Absolutely. So just getting back to wrapping it up here, Ashley, I just wanted to thank you again for coming in from First California Escrow and kind of enlightening us on what's happening. I think this show was all about, like Joe said, it's all about the philosophy of how you select the individuals that you're working with. It's a team player. It's a relationship-based situation. And I just wanted to ask, in this market where things are tight and escrows are limited, you're out there working hard. I mean, who are you approaching?
Anyone and everyone.
I love it.
I passed out flyers last weekend for a new agent.
Perfect.
To help drum up business.
So net
anyone and
sheets,
everyone.
closing estimates, anything you need, Ashley at First California Escrow, 858-793-0502. Joe Costa.
646-245-7856.
And Hershel Strother II at Mark Schwartz Realty. You can reach us at 858-414-4602. Next week, segment 2 on Joe Costa's Educating the Borrower. Talk to you then. Everybody out.
Money, 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 money.